Welcome to this training on how to filter emails. This training is hosted on a Relay for Life page, but keep in mind filtering emails works the same across all of our events. Once we've already created an email, we're going to click on Begin Delivery to choose our filtering options. The first way you can filter is by a participant's status. If they are a current event participant, a previous event participant, or a previous or current donor. You can choose multiple of these groups by clicking groups created by this event. You can also choose groups that you've created also. So if I click next, I'm going to see all of the different groups that were created for this event and a list of all the participation types for current and past participants. So when I scroll through this big list, I can choose multiple of these selections. We'll see our FY10 or our past participants in those participation types. And at the bottom of that list is our FY11 donors. The very top of the list is our FY10 donors. So these are our previous donors. So be careful if you want to send this email out. There's only certain emails that should go to donors because we don't want to send them too many emails. But if you want to select multiple groups, you would just do so by clicking on any of the groups, clicking Control on your keypad. If you hold down Control, you're able to click multiple groups. Once you've chosen those groups, go ahead and click Add, and it will add those that you've chosen to your selections area. In this situation, we're going to talk a little bit more about filtering based on your current event participants. So I'm going to go back to my delivery types, and instead of choosing groups this time, I'm going to choose current event participants and click Next. When I click current event participants, I'm given those options after I choose participation types. So for this example, I'm going to choose all of the participation types so that I'm sending it to a vast group of all of my current event participants. And then I'll click Next. Now I'm able to choose filters based on their registration types. So I can choose this based on if a person has participated in the past or not, or if they registered themselves or not. So online and offline registrations. An online registration is if a person goes through the front side of the website and registers themselves. An offline registration is if a person registers for them through the Event Management Center and in customer service. You can also choose to send just to a specific date range. You can also configure additional filters. Now, these are the same whether you're in registration filters or team filters. So I'm going to go ahead and click Configure Additional Filters. There are 3 different filters we can choose here, and that's donations received, participant emails, and unconfirmed gifts. So if we want to send an email based on the number of donations they receive, we can choose a minimum and a maximum number of donations, or a minimum and a maximum amount of those donations. So we could send this email only to people who have raised at least $100 by putting $100 into the minimum donation amount area. We can also send an email based on if they are a self-donor or not. In our next category, we can choose by if a person has sent emails. Then we'll click Next. And the last option is unconfirmed gifts. We don't use unconfirmed gifts in Relay for Life, so you don't have to worry about this specific filter. We'll go ahead and click Finish to save those specific filters. The next option after registration filters is team filters. So if we uncheck any of the boxes under team membership filter, we see where we can choose to only send it to team captains, or only send it to team members, or only send the email to people who are not on a team, or only send it to company coordinators. Or we can choose based on the company affiliation. So maybe we only want to send this email to people affiliated with certain companies, and if so, we can type in that company here. Note this is case sensitive, so make sure to type the company actually as it appears. When we click Next, we're taken to the Review Delivery Details area. From here, we can manage do not email groups, and this is very important if you're sending recruitment emails throughout the season, because a lot of times with recruitment emails, you'd want to start at the beginning of this process and choose your groups as your previous event participants, but you don't want to send a recruitment email to people who have already registered this year. So if you wanted to send an email to a certain group but filter out people who fit into other groups also, you can use this Manage Do Not Email Group. So in this case, we've chosen current event participants, but if we click on Manage Do Not Email Groups, we can also see here where we can send it to current event participants who were not previous event participants. So if we filter out all previous event participants, We'll click Next. Again, we have to choose those participation types. So now we see a list of all of the participation types which we may exclude. In this case, I'm going to exclude all. And of course, we can scroll down to the bottom and click Finish. So now we have set this email up to go out to current event participants, but not people who were registered last year. Now it will take us back to the Review Delivery Details area. Here, in the target groups, we see all groups of people which we have chosen to email to. And then in the Do Not Email groups, we see all groups of people who we don't want to email to. So here we're saying we're emailing it to people who have registered for fiscal year 11, but not to people who were registered in fiscal year 10. So this would only send the email out to brand new constituents. We can also see our filters that were applied. So we'll see we'll only send this to participants with more than $100 in donation. And then we can click to send immediately.